They're kick-ass blondes from outer space. Tricia Helfer and Katee Sackhoff, the undisputed stars of Sci-Fi Channel's Battlestar Galactica. Personally, I was surprised to find out that Helfer and Sackhoff were avid riders and that it wasn't in their contract that they couldn't.
We haven't been told yet that we can't ride, and as a joke, they were like, only on weekends, not on freeways. Right. Full helmets, everything. But, you know, I think it's the end of the show. I don't think that they can fire us.
I asked Tricia and Katee how they both started riding.
I kind of kicked around on dirt bikes when I was little, like four-wheelers. Never been on a street bike ever. And then I was so tired of being on the back of a guy's bike. And I said, like, I think 2 and 3 years ago that I just can't handle this anymore. I need to learn how to do this.
Yeah, I kind of did the same thing because I grew up on a farm and grew up driving quad runners and stuff. And my husband started riding, and same thing. I started riding on the back, and I went, too much of a control freak myself.
I know.
I want to be in control.
On the show, Tricia plays this sexy Cylon, and Katee is kind of a kick-ass jet fighter.
Who, like, everyone couldn't believe I wasn't, like, you know, spit out of my mother with a motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because people relate your character to you, and it's, you know, so not the case.
Tricia's actually more of a tomboy than I am, as far as, like, your upbringing.
Tricia's first bike was a Harley-Davidson Dynaglide, but she told me that it was a little too heavy for a first-timer.
I live in the canyon, so it's kind of the hardest drive in Laurel Canyon, so just getting out of my house was quite a feat. And there was a few times at stop signs and stuff that I dumped it on hills, and I just went, you know what, I'm going to go down to a Sportster 1200.
He's like, I'm going again.
Katee rides a Honda Shadow.
He's crazy. Not because I wanted to. I was ready to buy a Sportster. And my father and my mother and my boyfriend and my manager were terrified. They just couldn't picture me on a bike at all. So they were like, we need you to start it as small as possible.
I asked Tricia and Katee what they thought were the greatest rewards of riding motorcycles.
Oh, God, I think it's the only time in my life that people can't tell me what to do, and they're not touching me. People touching all the time. I think that's huge for me, that you can't hear anyone. It's just you and me and machine, not to be.
Oh, I'm your machine.
Machine. That's so sweet. It is the one place where you can't think about anything else but what you're doing, and that's awesome.
As a woman biker, a lot of people just don't think that you know what you're doing out there. So I wanted to know if Tricia and Katee were a triple negative, because they're women, beautiful women, and celebrities.
There's some people that just think you're trying to be cool or trying to draw attention to yourself. And that's the kind of...
It's frustrating.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, I don't care.
I think that's part of why we get along, so neither one of us gives a S-H-I-T.
So how often do they go out riding?
More now. I mean, I got a job on Nip Tuck where I get to ride a motorcycle on the show. So it's finally that one time where you don't have to hide it from the producers.
Well, you know what's funny too? I'm probably going to get to on Burn Notice.
On Burn Notice.
Well.
It's really interesting when writers and producers find out that you do ride, they're so excited and just kind of miffed by it that they're like, wow, we have to use that.
I went riding with Tricia and Katee in Angela's Crest. And I was thinking before I went riding with them that you can really count on one hand the number of women in the spotlight who ride bikes.
I kind of feel like I need to sort of take on like a role of getting, you know, it out there in public knowledge that women can ride. You know, I think it's a thing that just people assume, oh.
We're on the back of the bike making sandwiches.
We're the last people that you would expect to ride, and we do, and we love it.
For the Los Angeles Times, I'm Susan Carpenter with Battlestar Galactica stars Katee Sackhoff and Tricia Helfer.